Round off back handspring, step out, round off back handspring, step out, round off back handspring, full twisting layout. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Dani René here, and today we're going to be talking about the 99 and the 2000s, but not the song, not the juvenile song, guys, no. We're going to be talking about the teen movies of the late 90s and the early 2000s, the ones that I loved, the classics to me, the ones that I would watch today and still be entertained. So we're going to start this off, and in no particular order, guys, no particular order at all. The first movie is Bring It On. Okay, so now, Bring It On came out in 2000. I love this movie so much, from the opening sequence to the hey Big Red, I'm with, like, whatever. Like, I loved that movie. I loved Gabrielle Union when she showed that girl, like, she was like, "Burr." It's like, I made that shit up. Kristen Dunst. I love Eliza Dushku because I know I used to watch her on Buffy, so I loved her in that. I loved the movie, and they made like that movie was so good, or I guess people just couldn't get enough. They made like 15 Bring It Ons. They made like 15 Bring It Ons, and I usually don't care about, like, after the third sequel or the third whatever, like after that it's just like trash. Like, I'm not even into it after the third one. But the one with Solange, I loved it. I think the one with Solange was the third one. So it was Bring It On Again, Bring It On or Nothing, Bring It On Fight to Finish, Bring It On whatever. I don't know. I think the one with Solange was the third one. If it wasn't the third one, it was the fourth one. And I loved it. And it was straight to DVD. Come together in the end and like just appreciate each other. It was one of those things. It was, of course, the Compton Clovers or the Baldwin Hills, I don't know, whatever, the Clovers, and then the Rancho Cuca whatever, the Rancho Cuca whatever, the Rancho Carnitoros, I don't know, I forgot, whatever. The next one, number 2, is the movie Scream, starring Neve Campbell, David Arquette, Courtney Cox, Drew Barrymore for 3 minutes, and the other guy that, what's his face? The other guy that plays Shaggy on Scooby-Doo. He was in it. The movie Scream, the first Scream, came out in 1996. I was about 3 years old when that came out. Of course, I watched it, like, I think the first time I watched the first Scream was when I was maybe around like 8 or 9. My mom always let me watch like scary movies and stuff with her or whatever. And I was obsessed with it. I watched the second one, the third one, even the fourth one. But we all know how I feel about number 4s. When I first started, a lot of these movies came out when I was like 3, and like I watched them when I was like 8 or whatever. And I always loved the feeling of teen angst or whatever, just teen drama, teen thriller, teen whatever. So I love the whole feel of the movie. I really enjoyed this. This is when I first got introduced to Neve Campbell. I never watched the show Party of 5. I didn't. I tried to, and I won't try again. But this is when I first got introduced to Neve Campbell. She was a great actress. And she punched Courtney Cox in the face when she asked about her mom or whatever. And she was just like the main character. She wasn't like the weak girl, the damsel in distress. She was like the hero of the movie. She always like overcame the obstacle. She always beat the killer in the end, and she always learned something new. And it was kind of, now if you think about it, like the whole like premise or the whole plot of the story was just like, dang, like it's all this is because of your mom. Like Scream 1, Scream 2, Scream 3. All 3 Screams I enjoyed. You know what? Whatever. Even Scream 4. Scream 4 with Hayden. Hey Hayden, I'm mentioning you again. Even Scream 4 with Hayden Panettiere and Emma Roberts, and you know what, that was fine too, because Sidney Prescott, she was getting older. She was just, she came back to Sunnydale, or not Sunny. Wrong show, wrong movie, sorry. She came back to Woodsboro, and So whatever. So Scream 4 is fine too. Now, MTV turned Scream into a series. They revived it and turned it into a series. I tried watching a little bit of it. The thing with me and these whole like revivals of things, I'm too, skeptical of like, because I don't want anything to ruin my feelings toward the original franchise. So I don't really watch the Scream series on MTV. I don't.
What are you waiting for, huh? What are you waiting for?
I know what you did last summer. So of course, obviously, I'm into slasher films. I'm into thrillers. And of course, if you type in Scream on Netflix or Hulu or whatever, of course it's going to be, it's going to be related movies. I know what we did last summer. I still know what she did last summer. Like the main character is a strong female that overcomes the obstacle, that faces the killer in the end, doesn't let, not the damsel in distress. I love me some Freddie Prinze Jr. I love Ryan Phillip or Philly, not Drew Barrymore, Jennifer Love Hewitt, Sarah Michelle Gellar. This is when I first saw Sarah Michelle Gellar before I started watching Buffy. It was 4 friends coming from like a party or a function or whatever. They were drunk, driving down the highway at night. They end up like hitting a guy, running over a guy. They thought he was dead. So they tossed him in the pond or lake or whatever. He comes back, seeks revenge, like wants to kill them all. I know she did last summer, like gives them notes and stuff, stalks them, picking them off one by one. And the only 2 people that survived was Jennifer and Freddie Prinze Jr. And they survived and they moved on to the sequel, and then, it happened again. They finally had, the sequel, they had like their token like black person, and they also have another person, like 2 people, Moesha and Brandy. I would never do that again. Brandy. They had Brandy and Mekhi Phifer. I bind you from doing harm, Nancy. Harm against other people and harm against yourself. The Craft was my introduction to the whole, emo, like witchcraft obsession of mine, because I love Charmed. And they also featured that same song that Charmed uses for their theme song in the movie as well. But The Craft was amazing. One of my most favorite movies. Rachel True, I think that's her name. She still looks like that. Neve Campbell was in it. I think this was when, because The Craft came out in 1996, and Scream came out in 1996, I believe, as well. I think that this came before Scream. The girl named Sarah. It's based around this girl named Sarah that moved to California or moved to San Diego or LA, or she moved to a new town. And to like a private school or a Catholic school, and she meets these 3 girls, Nancy, Rachel True, and Neve Campbell. Nancy's the gothic one with the attitude. Neve Campbell's character is like the shy girl because she has like all the scars and stuff on her. And then Rachel True's character, she's the black girl who, experiences racism from the girl that played Marsha on Brady Bunch. I don't know her name. Sarah ended up gravitating towards the 3 witches, joined them because Sarah had a little bit of power of her own. And, she joined the group. They became powerful. Nancy, abused the power. And the other 2 girls, they, became more confident in themselves. And, they became bitches or whatever. They touched on the different characteristics of, each person of the clique. You had Nancy. She was the gothic one. Rachel, she's like the outsider because she's like the only black one, the only whatever. Neve Campbell's character, she's the shy one because she's just really shy. She doesn't really, she's really shy. Whereas big clothes, has the wet hair in her face and whatever. And then Nancy's just the new girl, and Nancy's like, you guys are being crazy now.
Light as feathers to this board.
The classic. I don't care what no one says. This is universal.
On October 3rd.
They shout this movie out every October
2 weeks later.
3rd. Mean Girls, starring Lindsay Lohan, Rachel McAdams, Amanda Seyfried, Tina Fey, Amy Poehler, and Lacey, who plays Gretchen Wieners. Okay, so this movie is a classic, hands down. This is one of the best decisions, one of the few good decisions that Lindsay Lohan has ever made. Mean Girls is everything. I don't even know where to start with this movie. I don't even know where to start. Wednesdays we wear pink. You can't sit with us. She doesn't even go here. Wide set vagina. Have you ever felt personally victimized by Regina George? Like, everything about this movie is just everything. So it touched on the dynamics of high school and the cliques and this and that. It's just everything. Amy Poehler. They had like so many like SNL cameos in this movie. It was everything. I don't even know where to. Mean Girls is like probably my top ranked. She just is. Go Glen Coco. 10 Things I Hate About You, starring Julia Stiles and the late great Heath Ledger. This is when I started my obsession with Heath Ledger. He was such a good actor, so talented, so raw. I loved him. He was hot. He looked good. He had this charm to him. Every movie he played in, he just drew me in. I love Julia Stiles. Loved her in Save the Last Dance. I always loved her. I loved her in O with her Mekhi Phifer. She's great. Always loved her acting too. She's very talented. Okay, so 10 Things I Hate About You is basically like a quirky, goofy teen movie about a girl. I don't know. I don't even know. It's just, a girl and her little sister. She's like the main character of Julia Stiles. She's like the uptight, really opinionated girl at school, and her sister is like the boy crazy girl, just wants to have fun, and like their dad is overprotective, blah blah blah. And the guy, like Joseph Gordon-Levitt, he's really good too. I love him too. God, I love him. I'm sorry. So Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character likes the little sister, and had to concoct this big plan to have the older sister date Heath Ledger's character, because the little sister couldn't date unless her big sister dates or whatever. So this whole big thing. The teen, all they had on their mind was sex. That's all they cared about was sex in this movie. Like, they're just even like the hot guy. I don't know his name. Like the snobby guy, he plays in like all the movies. Like, he's always some snob in every movie he's in. Gabrielle Union was also in this movie. Gabrielle Union doesn't age. She can always play a teenager in my book. I don't even care. When she's done being Mary Jane, I don't even care. She can be a teenager again. She just always played like the sassy friend. Like I always love the little character. She always plays somebody's friend. Whatever. Anyway, so yeah, 10 Things I Hate About You was great. That's one of my little quirky guilty pleasures. I don't know if I call it a guilty pleasure because I don't know if I would like watch it in front of people. It's like one of those movies where you just watch when you're by yourself because you don't feel like being judged. It's like one of your guilty pleasures. Everyone has a guilty pleasure. You have that one movie or that one show that you watch when you're by yourself because you are too embarrassed to watch it with other people. The final movie that we're going to discuss is, drumroll please, She's All That, starring Freddie Prinze Jr. and the late great Paul Walker. So the whole main idea of this movie was Freddie Prinze Jr., the cool guy at school. He was dared to take the most like loser girl or the most like homely looking girl and turn her into a prom queen or a homecoming queen or whatever they were trying to do. And of course he ended up like really liking her, and then she found out that it was a bet the whole time and was mad at him, and then ended up being with him at the end, blah blah blah. Anyway, so this whole movie was everything. It was one of those quirky, goofy movies as well. And they actually, of course, Gabrielle Union was in this one too. Little Kim was in this one too, and the guy that plays on Monk, or the black guy that plays on Monk, he's in it too. They surprisingly had like a good amount of black people in this movie. They had like three whole black people that was on in every other scene. They even made like a real world parody in the show. I'm sorry, in the movie. The guy that played on Scream, the guy that played Shaggy on Scooby-Doo, he was in it. Oh shoot, Freddie Prinze Jr. and the guy that played Shaggy on, Matthew Lillard. And funny enough, him, Freddie Prinze Jr. and Sarah Michelle Gellar were all in Scooby-Doo together. I don't know why I keep bringing up Scooby-Doo in this video. It's not about cartoons. Maybe I should make a cartoon video. Maybe not. Not about cartoons. Anyway, so yeah, she's all that. It had that 90s vibe to it that I love so, the late 90s vibe that I love so much. 1999. So that was the peak and the ending of that. It has so many iconic scenes in this movie as well. The girl walking down the steps with her heels, and her like falling into the step with her heel, or tripping down the stairs or whatever. Like that scene was in so many that scene was in so many parody movies. It was iconic. So yeah, she's all that. Alright, well that wraps up my list of my favorite late 90s, early 2000s movies. I tried to stay between the years of 96 to 2004. Keep it late 90s, early 2000s. So what are your favorite movies of the late 90s and early 2000s? Did you agree with my list? Comment down below if you agree with my list, and if you wanted to add on some stuff to my list, or you wanted to tell me about your favorites. Like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next video. Thank you for watching.